Everyone wants to grab a seat. We're going to get started.
They didn't bring me the cards.
Do you have the cards?
No, they didn't bring them into me yet. They'll walk them in.
So good evening. This is our third and final budget hearing for the 2013 budget for the Chicago Park District. I'm Mike Kelly, the General Superintendent and CEO. Most of you I know, but for those who I don't, it's nice to meet you. I look forward to your questions and comments tonight. Next to me is Juliet Azimi. She's our budget director. And in fact, why don't I turn it over to you and you can sort of run through the parameters. Yeah.
Good evening. Before we begin, I would like to ask our Spanish interpreter to come forward to determine if her services will be needed this evening. Thank you. How many total? 13. I will now ask our sign language interpreter to come forward to determine if her services will be needed this evening. Thank you. I'm Juliet Azimi, Budget Director for the Chicago Park District. I would like to welcome you to the North Region budget hearing for the 2013 operating budget. This is the final of 3 budget hearings. The South Region hearing was held September 19th at the South Shore Cultural Center. The Central Region budget hearing was held September 20th at Douglas Park. We will start the evening off with opening remarks from our General Superintendent and CEO, Michael Kelly.
We have a lot of speakers tonight, so I'll be brief. Some of the highlights I want to highlight just in this budget were certainly we do these budget hearings every year. This is my 9th year of doing them, and some of the comments that we've received in the past with concern to the operating budget have been we need more staff, and I'm proud to say that we hired over, I think, 150 new staff this year. We had, I think, 4,000 seasonal hires this year. We heard everyone, and whether it was an attendant, a rec leader, a physical instructor, or in many cases park supervisors, we heard what the public had to say. I've spent the better part of the last 2 Thursday and Friday on the south and in the central part of Chicago, listening to their concerns. I expect nothing less tonight. It's usually the comments focus somewhere between the operating budget and then, of course, everyone's favorite topic, our capital budget. Let me just remind folks, our capital budget, we have $35 million, of which 2/3 of that goes to maintenance. We have 252 buildings, 600 parks. You take what's left of that 60% of that 35 million, you divide it by 50, comes out to $100,000 or $200,000 per ward, which means it's not much. And by now, with so many familiar faces, you guys know what it costs to build a playground in the parks. It's $350,000 to $600,000. So we have to make we have to stretch our dollars, and through partnerships or working with our local elected officials, and we've actually really had a really good success with it. Some of the more recent successes up here was I drove by the mayor's Slam Dunk Initiative, the new basketball courts outside the building here, as well as they tell me we're ready to go at McFetridge. McFetridge has been a gem here for a very long time, but no one put any money into it. Well, we put $5.5 million into the facility because otherwise the project the park might have been demolished at some point because it was getting unsafe. I'm happy to say that we've made the building more efficient. We've made the ice. There's not a pitch. You could put a puck in the center and it would roll to the sides. It's really going to be a great place for the future, and it's going to hopefully operate for another 30 years. With that, again, we have a lot of speakers, so rather than me go on, I'd love to have a dialogue with you. So Juliet's going to give you sort of a breakdown of what to expect in our 2013 budget, as well as how we make our dollars work, and then we'll turn it over to the audience where everyone can offer their suggestions and make their comments. So thank you.
Thank you. So before we begin to take speakers, I wanted to take a few minutes to give you a quick recap of the 2012 budget. It's on this screen over here to my right. The 2012 budget was a $407.5 million spending plan. It had no increase in program fees, and in many cases, there were actually decreases in many of our program fees. It included no layoffs, but it did include 3 shutdown days, and most importantly, there was no property tax increase. Do you want to make the announcement about?
Sure. So this is usually the only time I get a lot of rousing applause. So why don't I just get right to it? There will be no property tax again for the 8th straight year in 2013. Good night.
So as you may be aware, the property tax is our largest revenue source. But when you look at the pie chart, you could see that the Park District actually only receives 6.34% of the average tax bill. On a typical bill for a property valued at $200,000, that breaks down to about $163.97 of your bill goes to support the Chicago Park District. The 2012 budget had select fee increases to support neighborhood programs such as golf fees, some slip fees at our harbors, and some parking fees at Soldier Field. It also had select increases in some of our permit fees. The budget included no change in our support for museums in the park or the zoo. We included $12 million in structural budget changes, including some debt refinancing, eliminating of vacancies, some reductions in our central admin, and ultimately, though, we still relied on use of our fund balance, about $12 million in the general fund and $1.3 million to the special recreation fund. The budget also included several new program initiatives, including expanded free summer teen league, some discounts such as family discount program and a military discount, and the slam dunk program, which was a basketball court resurfacing program at about 100 neighborhood courts. So a breakdown of our budget. You could see the pie chart. Like I said, most of our revenues are derived from the property tax, but we also receive revenues from the personal property replacement tax, which is a component of the corporate income tax that's distributed by the state. We also benefit from our privatized contracts with Soldier Field, the harbors, golf courses, parking, concessions, and MLK Entertainment Center. We also have program fees and permits and room rentals. On the expenditure side, approximately a little over 40% of our budget goes toward personnel expenses, followed by 22% goes toward debt service, followed by privatized contract management, and then our aquariums and museum support. We provide support to Lincoln Park Zoo, the Grand Park Music Festival, museums in the park, and after school matters. Looking forward to 2013, we're faced with a similar situation that we had in 2012. We have a national and local economy that brings us some uncertainties. We're in the process of rebuilding, but we still have a long road ahead of us. We have, in many cases, flat or declining revenues against rising expenditures. And we have included in our strategic plan as one of our financial goals to reduce our reliance on our fund balance and to reduce our structural deficit. And I ask that when you come up and give your comments that you keep that in mind as with your requests, that we have constraints with our resources and rising expenditures. Overall, our goal will be to craft a budget that supports our overall mission and core values, meaning kids first, being the best deal in town, built to last with extra effort. As we go forward, as you know, we've had 18 area budget meetings, the the area hearings. Now this will be the last of our region hearings. From here, we will submit an appropriation ordinance to our board. It will be released to the public the week of November 16th. We'll have a public hearing on the budget December 5th, and it will go before our board for a vote on December 12th. For anybody who is not able to come out to these hearings, we're also accepting budget ideas on our website. So please feel free to send them in, and we will respond to them at the conclusion of these hearings. So now we'd like to turn it over to you guys. Please remember to keep your comments to 2 minutes out of respect for the other speakers. In order to assist you, I have a timekeeper who will sound an alarm after 2 minutes, indicating that your time is expired and to please wrap it up to allow the next speaker to begin. I will call 3 names at a time. Please be ready at the mic when it's your turn. The first 3 speakers are Darcy Trier, Bill Harmon, and John Riordan.
So while you're coming up to the mic, I want to, most of you've done this before. If it's an issue that I think we may be able to have more follow-up afterwards, I'll direct you to one of our executive team, and you can talk out in the hallway further to develop whatever your comment is, if it makes sense, okay? So, Darcy?
Hello.
Good
Hi,
evening.
I'm Darcy, and we are from Maplewood Park and Lucy Flower Park. We have 2. We should get double time, don't you think? Yeah. No. So first of all, I want to thank you. I know you recognize us. We come to all these hearings, and we first want to say thank you for Maplewood Park for giving us Samantha. We have our own park supervisor now, which we are so grateful that we actually have a full-time staff member. So yes, you've heard us, and thank you. We're hoping that you'll let us get some more time to get our class schedules and get them full and get our reputation back up to keep it going with our park. And Samantha's been fantastic things for us. She's very responsive. We have a great relationship with her. It's been fantastic.
Great. That's great
Thank
to
you.
hear.
So I'm going to turn it over to Diana. She wants to talk about Lucy Flower.
So really quickly, we just want to say our progress with Lucy Flower Park, we've been working very hard to get this little park redone. And our initial budget last year was $350,000, which we were really excited because with your help and a large commitment from the aldermen, we were able to hit that 350 mark. Our chunk of it is $70,000, and we've raised $40,735 to date. However, overwhelmingly, response from the community was that they wanted a water feature. So we kind of went back with our great team, Pat LeVar, Rob Rejman, Katija, our architect, and Beth Tomlin, and kind of went back to the drawing board, and we said we really need to incorporate this. So we're willing to work and get more dollars, so we're working with our elected officials. And just today, we had a commitment from a developer in the community, from Sergio Banks, and they said, you know what, we're willing to give you some money. So we're very excited.
Wow.
You know, the coffers are getting bigger, so we're willing to do whatever it takes to ease the burden with your budget and stay within your mission statement and work together.
That's great. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill Harmon with the Kilbourne Advisory Council. We just started this year. Mr. Kelly, thank you, Park District officials. First of all, I just wanted to say thanks for taking the time to hear us today. We just started this council, as you see here. My friends of Kilbourne Park, we come loud and we come strong. We have not had a Park Advisory Council for the 10 years I've lived in the neighborhood, but during that same time, in the last 4 years, summer day camps kids have tripled. We've gone from 60 kids to 200. And the preschool has a waiting list. Now, all these kids that are in summer camps go over to a greenhouse. I don't know if you're aware, but Kilbourne Park is the city's only operating educational greenhouse in the city. It's time to address this greenhouse. The roof is over 60 years old. We have one staff member that runs the whole greenhouse. It's run by a massive amount of volunteers. We have a plant sale. We have 6 events all year outside. The number one is our plant sale, which generates over $28,000 last year alone. So we're here for support. We want help. We have a treasure in this greenhouse. We have the alderman, Laboyes, has been to a couple meetings. We have people on board, the Illinois Historical Architectural Society. we're looking for help, and anything we can do for you to help us get this greenhouse out there and increase staffing at Kilbourne Park. We're small, but we're strong. I'd like John Kane to say a word or two.
I'd only add that within the last year, since we formed this advisory council, and for the last 6 years, the Friends of Kilbourne Park, as volunteers for the greenhouse, have been very active. We've got tremendous amount of community support, letters from the Alderman Raboyes, Alderman Cullerton, Portage Park Neighborhood Association, Jefferson Park Neighborhood Association, Avondale Chamber of Commerce, Friends of the Park, Landmarks Illinois, Preservation Chicago, Old Irving Neighborhood Association, Independence Park and West Walker Neighborhood Associations. It's not just for Kilbourne Park, it's for the entire northwest side. The park in itself is architecturally significant, and the buildings are wonderful, and the greenhouse is a real treasure that we'd like to see funded more.
Right. It's not cheap, but I think we can work it out together. I really appreciate you guys forming an advisory council. It's really the way to get started. So much success, particularly in the North region, has come from advisory councils. I mean, I don't know how many times we've spoken in that hallway over the years, right, about various issues. I look forward to working with you guys in the future, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's John Reardon. I live in Jefferson Park, and I'm the Vice President of the Robert Square Park Advisory Council. Robert Square is a small park in the middle of the Jefferson Park neighborhood, right across the street from Beaubien Elementary. It has 2 amenities, a walking path and a play lot. The park is overseen, has no buildings, has no staff at the park, but it's overseen by Andrea Wapple from Jefferson Park, who, while I have your ear, she is a tremendous employee, extremely helpful, and I cannot say enough good things about Andrea and what the work she does at Jefferson Park and helping us. That's a great asset. The troubled asset is our playground. Right. It's over 20 years old. It's made out of wood, plastic, metal. I'm sure you guys know the familiar structure, the Mexico Forge. We're just getting started. We formed our advisory council last year. We've had a couple of small events, a family picnic. We did a clean and green in the spring. We've got real involvement from the community for really the first time for this little park. We're going to bring the movies back to the park next summer. We are committed to start doing our own fundraising, to advocating with the Alderman's office to set aside some money and to work with the principal and the PTO at Beaubien Elementary to partner with us to help improve this park. Really, the playground is the only thing that we have, and it's the only thing that we need to improve. Right. I know other people have a lot more important things to say, so I just want to say thank you for your time.
It's your concerns are as important as anybody else's here. It's great that people want to improve. It's great that people, playgrounds, maybe they walked by for 15 years, and everybody just sort of was an afterthought, want to take charge and want to transform the playground, because certainly at the Park District, we believe that if you take your park back, your playground back, you're strengthening your community and your neighborhood, right? Is it in a TIF?
No.
It's not in a TIF?
No.
All right. And you've met with your alderman?
I work for him.
Oh, even better. Well, then.
So I've been advocating.
Well, there you go.
In little places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll work on my end, you work on your end, and hopefully we can figure something out.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
The next 3 speakers are Anna Fafford, May Toy, Aaron Parker.
Hi, Anna Fafford with the Independence Park Advisory Council. We'd like to bring a couple projects to your attention. One, of course, is our playground. We've sent in our Field Capital Partnership Pledge form, yet have not heard any response, so I'd like some support back from that. We are in our 1 full year of fundraising, but our 2nd year with Circus in the Parks coming to us. So at the end of this, we expect to have, as a community, raised approximately $35,000 to $40,000 already. This is a very important topic to our community, as the playground gets a lot of use from the local schools and daycares as well. So we're looking for our next steps, and if we can have someone come out and meet with us, I think that would help the community and also get some attention there. Okay.
Yep.
Adjacent to the playground, we have tennis courts, which I know they are nowhere near as bad as some in the city, but some preventative maintenance, I think, would help keep them from deteriorating quicker. More importantly, though, as a safety issue, we have steps walking into our building from the Springfield side, which are crumbling. They have been patched a few times, but the patchwork is not sticking. So we'd like that addressed, and I know it's been brought to people's attention, but I'm here to bring it up again. We've also had a work order in for our fence along Irving Park to be painted. I know our park supervisor has sent that in for the past 5 years, and it's still yet to be painted. It's becoming a little bit of an eyesore, and we have such a beautiful park. Everyone sees it driving along Irving. We'd love for that to get its paint. I know we're slated for a new elevator as part of ADA compliance, and we are very excited about that. Though we ask and hope that the advisory council or the community could be involved in some of those discussions, because we know that it will impact the building along with potentials to programming. And then lastly, I just wanted to say for our bungalow, we are very grateful that the Park District has come forward and put the money out there to help get that project completed, and we look forward to having that usable space again. Thank you.
It's a great project. Do you want to plug your park super as well? You got a good one.
But
Do you want to plug your park supervisor? You have a good one.
our park supervisor is fantastic, and
Yes.
our staffing issues, you did take care of those.
Yep.
So we're happy with that, especially one of the new staff members, Herbert Smith. He has been fantastic addition.
Great. I'd ask if you don't mind, I'll introduce you to our Chief Operating Officer, Pat LeVar.
Okay.
He'll set up the meeting about all the other requests.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. May?
Hello, my name is May Toy. I'm president of Skinner Park Advisory Council. First, I want to thank you for the new basketball courts that we got, and I especially want to thank Pat and Rob for installing the new drains to alleviate the flooding that we have in the basketball courts. It works perfectly. And I want to commend Tom Joyce from Trace, who's installing the donor tiles and the decorative tiles in the playground. He's doing a great job. And I want to invite you to the donor tile dedication. We never had a grand opening for our playground. You know, it was completed about 2 years ago. And so we want to recognize everybody who gave money for the playground from the community. So we're going to have a little celebration during our pumpkin patch on October 20th. The alderman already said that he's going to be in attendance. We want to continue doing the free children's events at our park. We feel it's very important that all the events for children be free. And as always, we're always willing to partner with a park district to make that possible. And this year, there's still a little hiccup. There's still a fee for the Tots Party, and last year was free. And we donated, basically, for both the pumpkin patch as well as the Tots Party, so I would like that to be addressed. I want to thank Pat again and Marilyn Morales. I think the Trenco Garden is sinking on the west side of it. It's built over a baseball diamond. And I raised this issue last year. The Skinner Park Dog Park, as we know, there's $750,000 committed for this dog park between the city and what the community raised. And so we just need to get it done because the land's been available for 2 years. And I know that's not a park district that's holding it up. And there's an upcoming meeting between the alderman, us, the city, and I believe the park district to try and resolve the whole up, with where the city is on the environmental issues on it. Okay. There's a whole page on permit problems, which you can read for yourself, but these are very serious issues for the community, and we need to have those addressed.
Got it.
And then these are repeats of problems that I've already previously identified to you guys, and I would like those to be addressed as well. And then the playground, there's just stuff that needs to be fixed there. The sandbox has a major drainage issue, and then we really need signs to say no dogs are allowed inside the playground area. I mean, I love dogs, but I don't want them inside the playground area. And then also we have a problem with the Whitney Young students. They're constantly inside the playground. I mean, we caught, a 6'3" student trying to slide down the top slide, okay? That's just unacceptable, and we need a park staff to be better at managing those issues for us. You know, it can't be always the community who's stepping up to these guys saying, you need to stop it. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, May.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Parker. I'm the president of the Mayfair Park Advisory Council. I had the opportunity to stand here before you last year, and so we're back again. Last year, we stood up here and basically asked for some additional funding for basically staff time, and you answered. You basically provided the resources, specifically with our arts and athletic program. So tonight, I just want to say that we don't take that response lightly, so thank you for providing those resources. I'm sure if you look at our record over the past year, you'll probably see some increases in terms of program revenue, but I also understand that doesn't nearly offset the costs. But again, we continue to see Mayfair Park attendance continue to rise with the different programs. My other thing I want to thank for tonight is specifically Pat Townsend, also Maya Solis as well, and Colleen Gallagher, her predecessor. In my past 4 years as the president of the Mayfair Park Advisory Council, I've appreciated working with these folks. They follow through on their commitments. We actually have been working with them specifically on our instructor. Has been open for a while, and that person just got hired about a week and a half ago. So thank you for that. It's tremendous. Also, they're honest, and they set realistic expectations in terms of how long things are going to take, how we get there, how we go. And the last thing is they're responsive. I'm happy to say we actually, unfortunately, we lost our sign for Mayfair Park about a week ago, or even less than that. And for those of you that may know Mayfair Park, it's a little hard to find. Makes it even harder without the sign, but it actually got replaced today. So kudos to your operations team. They're quick, they got it done, and we're really pleased with that. Last thing I want to say is it really actually motivates us to respond as an advisory council at the Mayfair Park Advisory Council as well. Over the last year alone, a couple of things that we've kind of stepped up. You provided the art instructor additional hours there. We bought 7 new easels for the art program. Also, with the athletics, we put almost $1,000 towards T-ball equipment for the athletics there. And then the other thing is basically this past week we actually got a new sound system that we bought. Maria McDormand, I got to do a shout out for her. She's a great supervisor, and she teaches a new Zumba class this year. We got 2 of them going on, and they're full. I know, exactly. So she's Zumbas. So with that said, bottom line is thank you for acting upon last year's requests, and a shout out again, definitely to Pat Townsend, Maya Solis, and then Maria McDormand. You really make it a true partnership. So thank you.
Thank you.
The next 3 speakers are Mike Emerson, Justice Stamps, Reverend Julio Castillo.
Hey, Mike. Good, how are you? So while Mike's walking to the mic, one thing Aaron touched on, I just want to reiterate is, you know, typically in these budget hearings, we hear 2 things over and over. We hear we need more staff, and in many occasions our fees are too high. And as Juliet pointed out in her speech, that we kept fees flat or we lowered them in many cases. And I mention it why it's important because in many parks across the city, we saw our attendance double and triple. And even when it tripled, it increased our revenues. And I'm very proud of my staff and proud of where we're at and where we're going because this summer our increase was 28%. So it made it the highest recorded summer camp we've ever recorded at the Chicago Park District. So that's a tribute to everyone at the Park District. And they tell me we're going to break that record for the fall registration. So hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have that data. So again, we're proud of where we're going, and I want to increase next year over and break that record. So with that, Mike,
Perfect.
You're up.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks very much, Mike. My name's Mike Emerson. I'm with the Norwood Park Youth Baseball Association, and we put together a 3-year plan out of necessity because in 1 year we went from 750 players down to 500. All the kids left and went to Oriole Park basically because of the condition of the fields, because we weren't able to keep up with a lot of the maintenance and things like that. And so we put together a plan that will take care of the immediate needs, take care of short-term goals, stabilize the whole situation, and then the 3rd phase will actually go to improve them. I did want to say thank you to Matt Marino, Pat Townsend, also to Mary O'Connor, as well as John Mulroe, just in terms of being able to really help us, listen to us, and get us in touch with the right people. And plus, our park super, Jennifer Fitzgerald, has been fantastic. So when we looked at the park, we thought, what can we do to really make this great? And we're looking to use a water saver turf on the infields of the parks. So we get regular in 2 of our fields, an RTF fescue. We're looking to add drainage. What we're asking for today is really 3 electrical outlets, access to water, and a little bit of drainage, tuning and improvement in front of the dugouts. We have already raised, we started fundraising July 28th. We've got about $3,000 in hand because the Cubs basically threw 400 tickets at us and said, if you can sell them, you know, you can make some of the proceeds. And we sold the tickets for $15 each and made $10 each off of each one of those tickets. So down the line.
Good work, $15 each for them.
Yeah, not bad. It was worth it. It was easy. But we will be doing an artificial field that we can be proud of, a tournament field, and we want to do a running track as well as a Miracle League field at Norwood Park. And because there is a great special needs program there, we have set our goal in the next 3 years to be on track to have a Miracle League field so that the siblings that have the special needs of our players at Norwood Park can also dress in a uniform and play baseball, just like their brothers and sisters do. Right. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mike. Just so you, I don't know if you know, I met with Alderman O'Connor. I spoke to her last week about this, so this is definitely headed in the right direction. Thank you. Justice? Okay. Julio?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Julio Castillo, and I represent the Avondale Park Advisory Council. We were formed approximately about 13 months ago. So this is just entering our 2nd year. First of all, I would like to thank you for all of the help that we have been provided over the past year, all of the logistic support, and also for providing us with a terrific park supervisor. Over the past few months, we received a new one, Paul Ciratali. He has been terrific. He has helped tremendously the park re-energize some of the programs and help us to basically point us in the right direction every time we had a good question. And I would like to thank you and thank Paul for such a great job.
Great, thank you.
I also would like to thank Matt Marino. He helped us to get our coach, gymnastics coach back. We were having some problems when they had to switch some of the coaches around, but they worked with us and they brought Kelly back, and the gymnastics program is back in track. So that has been tremendously of a big help, and I want to thank you on behalf of everyone, not just the advisory council, but also the parents. And there are 3 different projects that we would like your support for this upcoming year. And in 2 of them, we already have basically provided the funds, and it's just having some logistic support. First, we know that the windows need to be replaced. They were painted this year, but even though they were painted, a lot of them, they're still stuck. You cannot move them, and the cold air still gets through. They look nice, but they're still old. So we will they're scheduled to be replaced next year, and we're just hoping that it's in the budget and stays in the budget. Okay. Second, we would like to get some support to get some security cameras installed, and we have raised the money to do that. So we're just asking for help with the logistics, and the last is the replacement and some of the replacement for the current playground. we will be filing the letter of intent later, but right now what we need is only some maintenance that needs to be done. Over the past 2.5 years, I know the two park supervisors have been requesting some job orders, and the painting and the maintenance doesn't get done. We would like your support in that endeavor, and that's all we're asking. And thanking you again for your help.
If you don't mind seeing Pat and Tom right there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Tom Lawson, Margaret O'Connor, Gary Bonkowski.
Hey, how are you? Some expensive card stock here.
Oh, really?
Good evening. I'm Tom Lawson, and I represent both Treves Park and Clover Playground in the Sheffield community. And first, I want to thank you for the projects you have completed and the maintenance that you've already done. It's taken a little while, but we're getting there slowly but surely. There's progress coming. The light at the end of the tunnel. Anyway, tonight I'd like to continue our efforts to upgrade the two playgrounds at both parks. Both playgrounds serve two elementary schools. At Treves Park, it serves Oscar Mayer School, and at Clover, it serves St. Josephat Parochial School. And kids really utilize not only the playgrounds, but what's the postage stamp parks. We're trying to move ahead to get a soft service in both playgrounds. They still have the wood chips. Particularly at Clover, that playground was renovated in the early 90s. It still has a lot of wood to it. We've had to replace one of the swings that was coming down. Matter of fact, we had a staff meeting, and this is when Brian was involved, and we saw it one day, and 2 days later the swings were taken down, but you managed to find a swing set from another playground, and we've got swings back. But that playground needs to be addressed. We're slowly working on it, trying to get fundraising going in our community. Two other items at Treves, that both entrances have some problems. The one at the award-winning gardens that have won the Mayor Landscape Awards over many years. The pavers have got to be reset. They're still sinking in around the gazebo. And then at the other entrance behind the ball diamond, we still have a lot of water flow off the diamond across the back of the backstop. It's just a big mud pit when it rains. All the mud drifts down into the sidewalks, and the kids trample it all into the school. So it's extra costs for the school when the kids are playing in the playground and it's rained. Over at Clover, we need a full ADA compliant water fountain, but we also need irrigation there. We have neighbors that want to plant plants and flowers, but we have no way of irrigating. We've tried it over the years, and you just have to have irrigation. I know it's a complicated process of a backup of a fountain, but we really would like to get that and put a little more beauty into the park up and over what the Park District already does. Thank you for your time this evening, and hopefully we can move ahead further.
Thanks, Tom.
Hi, my name's Margaret O'Connor. I've been here many times over the years. I represent Chase Park Advisory Council. First, I'd like to just go ahead and thank the Park District, Katie Payon, our supervisor, Deb Maddox, and the Area 6 staff that were on hand to deal with the teacher strike. In short, we had 262 registered students at our park, of which 130 about per day showed up. These guys did a great job. While the advisory council provided cups and donated some fruit and stuff like that, I just have to take my hat off to the staff and
the highest in the city.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing that they made such. I'm just really proud that we made the best out of a bad situation. Right. So thank you so much, Katie. Great job. Great job. Thank you, Deb. Quickly, we have a couple staffing issues that we've talked about in the past. We were removed, our monthly was removed in 2012 on that budget, and we'd like our monthly to be replaced, but I did hear publicly from Pat Townsend that we have a drama instructor that is going to be coming our way, so thank you. Get that rolling. The other one is that we have a newly vacated position in our special rec program, an hourly instructor specifically. We have a fully inclusive program, and our Park Kids program is awesome. We just need the support. We have to stop taking registered special rec kids at this time because we just can't support it with the staff. So if we could get that staff replaced as quickly as possible, that'd be great. Lastly, I'd just like to talk quickly about AT&T at Chase Park. Their 3-month temporary site is now more than 3 years old, and we're waiting right now on the ZBA hearing results to move this project forward. Essentially, Mike, what they're going to do is they're going to replace the displaced community gardens. They're going to fence those in. They're going to add some lighting, and they're also going to do some benches that are really needed. And then they're going to repair the damage that over time their trucks have caused to our track. So we're really looking forward to that moving forward, and I'd be happy to keep you updated about what the hearings resulted in as of yesterday. And then that's it. Just so you know, the Park Advisory Council gave air conditioning units for our summer camp, which is kind of what you were talking about before. We provided new water coolers. We had cups during the summer, hoses, baby pool, sprinklers. We had 336 day campers. We had 46 special rec program campers and 104 play camp registered people, little people. And we had early bird and extended camp. So we're really very proud of that. And of course, couldn't do it without our staff and Katie. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Gary Bonakowski. I live a block from Portage Park and use the park almost daily. I swim there 5 days a week year-round. 3 years ago, the indoor pool was renovated due to the fact that every time we had a heavy rain, it filled with raw sewage. As part of that renovation, a liner was installed in the pool. Ever since then, mold or algae grows on top of that liner on the bottom of the pool. It starts out with a few spots at the deep end, and by the end of the indoor season, the black spots and streaks extend about 2/3 the length of the pool. At the water line, green crud covers the face of the gutter, the ladder, and the stairs. We've been told that the wrong type of liner was installed. My question is, when will something be done to correct this problem?
Who told you that? I'm just curious. Who told you that?
We've heard that from the park engineer.
Oh, okay. We'll get on that.
Also, as part of that renovation, the deck drains were removed. The outer edge of the new gutter is supposed to serve as a deck drain, but the deck was not resloped to the gutter. As a result, we've got standing water. The new coating that was put on the deck stains very easily and is very difficult, if not impossible, to clean or at least give the appearance of being clean. So as a result, the deck always looks filthy. I mean, it may just be a look, but it's not very appealing. New lockers were just installed in the locker rooms. Some work was done to the walls and floors. It's a definite improvement. The only thing I would say is a single double hook in the lockers is a little bit inadequate, especially when the weather is cold like it was this morning. It was announced this summer that TIF funds were going to be used to expand the parking lot. Now, I was told this evening that's not going to happen. I hope this is true because it's an inappropriate encroachment on park land. We should be talking about how to add green space, not take it away. The city motto is Urbs in Horto, not Urbs in Auto. Members of the Portage Park Garden Club plant and maintain the 8 planters by the senior center and the 4 by the field house. There's no outside water source at the senior center. I water those almost every day. I'm there when the custodian opens the building so that I can have access to the janitor's closet for water. On weekends, I grab my 6-year-old neighbor in her red wagon and haul water from my house. It'd be very nice to get a siltcock installed. The WPA era stonework at Linder and Irving needs to have the caps of 3 of the piers rebuilt. It'd be nice to restore this historic stonework for the centennial of the park next year. The outdoor pool was a bit of a disaster this year. It opened late. Part of the liner was missing. and the boiler was down for a period of time. This 50-meter pool, with its history of hosting the 1959 Pan American Games and the 1976 U.S. Olympic Trials with Mark Spitz, should be a gem of the Park District. So I ask that it's treated as such. Finally, the best part is I want to thank you for the best improvements you've made to the park in years, and that's our new supervisor, Deb Grow. She's very visible. She's very responsive. We thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll work on those other issues.
The next speakers are Catherine Altimos, Gretchen Tate. Thank you.
My name is Catherine Altimos, and I'm here representing Juniper Park, which is located at the corner of Greenview and Waveland in Lakeview. I'm here also with Michelle Baldwin, who is our new park supervisor. We're thrilled to have her. In the short period she's been here, she's been incredibly responsive and very helpful to me in the last few weeks as we've been in early discussions about an improvement to Juniper Park. Juniper Park is not one of the oldest parks. It does not have the wood chips. Its equipment is not as old as some of the smaller play lots that are in the greater Lakeview neighborhood that I frequent a lot with my 3 children. However, it is probably, in my opinion, having known all the parks in a 5-mile radius quite well to where I live in off the Southport corridor. It's a very heavily trafficked park. Its location is about 10 blocks west of Wrigley Field. And just given the great shade that it offers, the proximity right off of Ashland, just north of Addison, near the field and the Southport corridor, we just have not only a very, very, very strong community of people that visit the park on a regular basis, both weekday and weekend, but also a lot of people that come to the neighborhood for all the many, Cubs attractions and that kind of thing. So I feel pretty strongly, and I think Michelle and I agree that we could pretty quickly develop an advisory council like most of the people here tonight, and I would be happy to take the lead on that. We're respectfully requesting money, I guess, in Tier 1 for a water feature. Currently, the park does have the pipe system set up, but it's probably from the 70s. I mean, it's just a cement little blocks that shoot out like a trickle, and I have grandiose ideas about a park renovation altogether. I actually pretty strongly believe that the parent community that I know very well in the neighborhood would really get behind it, and the fundraising would be there. Alderman Tunney, I know he's in great support of the parks in our neighborhood. So I guess what we're hoping to do is start with phase 1, and that would be a new water feature in the 2013 year, with the idea that maybe in 2 more phases we could do more renovation of the park, including the possibility of switching out the sandbox to something different that also provides a kind of entertainment of a sandbox. But that would be, I guess, for the advisory council and the community to kind of weigh in on. But I think we're pretty certain that the water feature improvement would be universally endorsed and accepted and supported within our community.
So work with Michelle. We'll get that advisory council up and running, and we'll walk you through it. And then people from my team can come out and start road mapping for you.
I'd love that. Yeah.
How we can make improvements to the park, and sandbox is easy. We can get rid of the sandbox right away. Water features, those have a cost.
And doing it in phases, is that is an okay way of doing it? I didn't want to sort of shoot ourselves in the foot that we ultimately would want sort of a bigger redo, but being realistic, given how sort of late in the game we are for 2013, and just forming a council.
Right. No, we can. It's what we do for a living. So we can absolutely come out and we can show you exactly what things cost and how to get it done. And we've had great success in that community. So
thank you so much.
Get this done. Yep. Our last speaker, Gretchen.
Good evening. My name is Gretchen Tate, and it's great to be here today. I have my daughter Mirabelle, who has something she'd like to say as well. I wasn't sure if she was of age to sign up to speak, but I'm here on behalf of the Grow with Gompers Committee at Gompers Park, and it is my pleasure to announce that thanks to the commitment to the Park District, our elected officials, and the collaborative partnership with our community, our new playground is open. And I'd like to recognize the really creative and thoughtful use of the existing footprint that allowed a very dynamic space to emerge for children and their caring families to enjoy. We unexpectedly had the fences come down on Friday, and on Saturday there were 150 at least people there without any announcement. People came out of the woodwork. They were so happy to have a place for the community to gather. They represented the diversity of the Gompers Park community, and it was wonderful to watch them find a diversity of ways to use the play structures and interact with the flowing layout that it just invites exploration and triggers imagination, everyone there. So with great appreciation for this, we look forward to protecting and preserving the condition of our new park in continued partnership with you. Sorry, I'm very nervous. This is very emotional for me. Yeah. And with our staff at Gompers Park, Denise Raymond, our park supervisor, and yes, thank you. And with the other many people who love and care for this unique urban oasis. So thank you for building our playground. We hope our playground will now take on the job of continuing to build our community and bringing children and families together in this special place. We have an opening celebration on October 13th at 1:30, and you are cordially invited to join us. We'll have some performances and ribbon cutting ceremony. It'll be very nice. Also on behalf of the Gompers Park Advisory Council, our interim president was not able to be here today, but we are thrilled to know that our pool liner is in the process of being installed, and our new locker room renovations. So there's lots going on at Gompers Park, and we're so grateful because it is just a treasure for our city. If it's all right, I'd like my daughter to go ahead.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Our pleasure.
Dear Chicago Park District, my name is Mirabelle and I'm 7 years old. I love my new park. My favorite parts are the two hills that I can run up and roll down. And the hopper, it is fun to bounce up and down on with my friends. Thank you for helping us build our new playground.
You're welcome.
Thanks again.
Thank you. And with that, that concludes our third and final budget hearing of the evening. Of course, everybody, I think if you don't, www.chicagoparkdistrict.com or 312-742-PLAY. If you forgot to mention something or you want to make further comment. And that's it. Thank you, and have a good evening.